Nothing like the sound of crazy pigs in the morning, huh? Where is their food bucket? Oh, it's right here. Scared me for a second there. Alright, well, we'll get these guys fed so they're quiet. It's amazing how loud they get. And, well, frankly annoying. It's kind of a pain. For some reason, their bowl keeps ending up... No! Go eat! I'm getting your bowl! No! Guys! No! I gotta get the bowl! Okay, well, that's not gonna work. It's gonna have to be dumped on the ground, I guess. I feel like they get crazier and crazier every time I try to feed them. And I feed them a couple times a day. We throw them scraps. We've got plenty of food. I don't know why they're going so nuts. Okay, on to the meat chickens. Ayden is taking care of the hens and the ducks and the bunnies over here. I got pigs, the very impatient meat chickens. Look at them climbing up. And the ducks over here. Alright, let's feed the birds. Oh, you know what? We were supposed to weigh them. That's alright, we can get them back in with food. So Ayden and I are going to weigh the meat birds today because Butcher is in, what, a week and a half-ish. Who? Chickens? Yeah, we can put them back in and then redo it with food. I forgot we were supposed to leave them in today and take them out one by one to weigh them, but that's alright. We can do it anyway in a little bit when we're done with the other chores. I want to find out where they're at in weight right now because I gave them an extra week this time around. So technically we should have been butchering this coming weekend. But I gave them an extra week. You okay? Me? Yep, okay. To see if we could get some extra weight on them. So now I want to see how much they weigh right now because they actually look pretty big. Alright, I'm gonna get the hose, buddy. Good morning, ladies. How are you today? Alright, I have a bucket and the scale, and we are going to weigh these chickens as soon as Ayden's done filling up the ducks' watering hole thing that they like. And I want to see where these guys are at because, like I said, typically would have butchered them this weekend, but I'm trying to give them an extra week to see if that makes a difference. Because last time we had good ones. We had about 4-pound birds. Mostly 4-pound birds, a little over. But I just want to see where we're at. So, this is my first video in a couple of days. Probably 3 days, I think, that I've actually made. And that's because little man here has started his own channel. Huh, buddy? And you're very proud of it, aren't you? So it's called Farming is Fun, and I bet you can guess what it's about. He is basically doing the same thing. He's making videos all on his own about everything that he does and enjoys on the farm, and what it's like, I guess, to be a kid doing it. Right, bud? So go check it out. It's called Farming is Fun. I'll leave a link down in the description. Try and see if they'll go near you.
Yeah. They're pretty close.
I don't know, they came pretty close yesterday. Not quite yet. All right, bud, you want to do these birds?
Yeah.
All right.
All of them together. That's really
Whoa! Only 2.3 pounds. That one's small. Don't put weight though. 2.7. Yeah, he's actually it's 2.8. So not that much bigger. So for the most part, they are close to 3 pounds so far. They still have a week and a half to go, so I think we can reach that mark that I'm looking for in that time. Don't think that this weekend is right to butcher. I think that they need to put on a little bit more weight and go from there. I've seen a few videos and talked to some people, and that's what they do. So not every batch is the same. Yeah, honey? Yeah, I've been feeding them actually a lot now. I've been trying to like really feed them a lot because we're going to be butchering.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been doing that. So like at night I've given them more food.
Good.
And also that's something I'm going to be putting together today. I'm going to get the supplies. I'm going to be making them feeders and waterers, big ones. Because we've been just putting their feet on the ground. Now I've been putting in a bowl so they don't lose as much in the ground because we soak it. But I looked up some things, and I'm going to make a feeder with a 5-gallon bucket and a waterer with a 5-gallon bucket that would be a lot better, and they could just kind of eat whenever they feel like it. And that's what I want. So I did go to Tractor Supply. Everybody's sold out. I don't know. I guess everybody's doing this now. But I mean, that's a good thing. But yeah, so I will be later on today. I will be making both of those. And I think actually I'm going to do the meat chickens and the hens. And I want to try to find a trough for the pigs. Because you saw that. That was crazy. And it gets, seems like it gets worse every time I go up there to feed them, so which is like twice a day. So, they're getting more and more impatient, and I don't want them attacking anybody. So I think I'm going to do that, but find a trough, because I did a lot of reading. Everybody says that pigs will not overeat, so they know when to stop. And so hopefully if I do that, I can just put the food in there. They have food at their leisure. Eat whenever they want, because I also want to fatten them up as much as possible, because they're going to butcher in the next month.
For some reason, for me, it doesn't even look like it's grown at all.
That's because we're with them every day, but I looked at old videos. They've grown quite a bit. I'm going to come over here and check on this garden. So I am over here checking this garden. It's the one that we had the pigs prepare, and a few days ago I had Matt mow the lawn, and I used the grass clippings to put on the garden here. It's supposed to help it. It's supposed to give it some nutrients and things that it needs, which I didn't do anything to this dirt, basically. This soil, I did nothing to it. I just let the pigs do its thing. I mean, they pooped in it, but it's not in the whole thing. But then we dug it up and planted. And so far, I mean, these are our seedlings. These are zucchini, and then we have all, that's kind of blurry, we have all squash, yellow squash. Everything's alive and doing its thing. I only had 2 seedlings that germinated for zucchini, so the rest of this is seed that I planted, and I'm trying to see if anything's coming up yet. Okay, nothing yet. Big truck going by. I found out there's a, I don't know, it's a quarry or something not far from here. So we have big giant loud trucks going by our house every day, all day, which is quite annoying. So anyway, our mystery garden, where is it? Over here. Is doing good.
Don't step in between here.
Yeah, there's
stuff.
It's hard to see, but it's there. There's everything we planted that was already germinated is doing fantastic. Can you see
Yeah, I was looking for it.
anywhere?
I can't see anything.
Not yet. No germination. Neither over there either. Maybe just is gonna. Whoops, sorry guys. Gonna take a little bit longer to germinate because it's not as much sun. We'll see. I don't know. I have celery growing finally, but not big enough yet to transplant. So we'll see. And that's really it as far as planting. Now it's just more of a take care of it, water it, watch it grow kind of thing. It'll climb over, yeah, and they'll hang through. Alright, I figured I'd give you guys a little garden tour since we haven't, well, I haven't made a video in a few days, and show you how things are going. So we're over here starting at the beans and cucumbers and carrots area, and supposed to be strawberries, but the strawberries of course are not growing because, you know, we just can't grow them for some reason. But here's carrots, you can see. Let's see, right here, right there, and we've got lots of rows of them. Everything's coming up nicely.
Big carrot right here.
Yeah, there's a big carrot right there. That's a experiment that it was just a carrot top that we cut and Emmy planted it, and it looks like it's doing all right.
This is new though.
Yeah, good, good. All right. So now we're over here at the peas and cucumbers, and everything's doing well. And look what we found. Look, our first pea. It's little right now, but it's there. There's a bunch of little guys. But that's encouraging, right, buddy?
Yeah.
See, look at this. Little ones everywhere. I didn't think we were gonna get them with the plants being this small still.
Really?
Yeah, but hey, that's amazing.
I started getting plants. I started getting beans when I had the bean bushes at this height.
Yeah, but these are going to climb a lot taller from what I understand, but either way, that's amazing. And then these are the cucumbers that are still little guys, but growing. Right, bud? Up here, where's our cantaloupe? We have, there's one here, there's one there, that's a cantaloupe, that's a cantaloupe. We have a chipmunk problem, and I've been reading up on how to get rid of these chipmunks. So I think I'm going to do a few things, a couple natural things. I don't want to go into chemicals and all of that stuff, but we got to take care of the chipmunks. There's a lot of them, and they're eating my plants. So they'll just like take nibbles off of the leaves and stuff. So we need to get rid of them. The cat chases them, and we've seen him chase them up trees. But he did get one.
But played with it and let it go.
I think there's too many of them. So, okay, anyway, look at our little pumpkin patch doing. See how big those are now? Remember when Ayden planted them? Look at them. And then these are the ones I just planted the seeds. And we have, these are sugar pumpkins, which I was so happy to get. And one over there because, yeah.
How'd they come out?
Oh, I don't know. Put it back in. I was so happy to get those because I want to make pumpkin pie and stuff. And before I had a couple sugar pumpkins that from the garden I had last year, I think it was, and the pumpkin pie was really good. So I'd like to do that because I make a lot of pumpkin pie. Okay, now we are at the corn on the cob and green bean area, and I'm sure you can see that all on your own. We got lots of corn on the cob, we've got lots of green beans, coming up in this little area here. Hey, Ayden, there's a bug on that leaf. You want to like flick that off? I don't know what kind of... Oh, never mind, it flew away. So yeah, that's good. That should be plenty.
More salads.
I hope.
Today. Have more salad.
Yeah. Alright, over here we got Swiss chard, doing lovely. And right here, green peppers, also doing lovely. Well, bell peppers, I don't know exactly what color they are. It came in a package with all the colors. They're doing good, but they are being attacked by something I can see on the leaves. So I'm going to have to figure that out. I'll look that up and see. You can see that. Look at that. That's not good. And it's that one's the worst, actually. So I'm going to look that up and see what the problem is. Okay. Potato patch, I would say, is doing amazing. What do you think? Look at this loveliness.
I don't think they can see them.
This is so pretty. Isn't that pretty to look at?
Mm-hmm. It is.
So some of them are flowering, and so I looked up what do you do if they're flowering, and it said it means that that means that they're tubers underneath and they're ready if you wanted to have like little potatoes. But if you don't and you want them to get bigger, you take the flowers off. So that's what we did. We pinched off those flowers yesterday, and
We're gonna have to take off a lot more because it's a lot.
yeah, once they all start flowering. It was only a few.
Because those ones over there, they're bigger. That's why they start flowering. These ones are little.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy's big.
Yep. So yeah, that's what we'll do. Keep pinching them off. What, honey?
Look at the dog.
Yeah, the ducks are having fun over there.
Why do they do that?
I don't know. Kale and lettuces. These lettuces we've already harvested from a couple times, and the kale. There's some little guys here that don't seem to be doing much. I don't know why exactly, but down here and here. We've got more coming in here and more lettuces that I planted. Also, I planted more lettuce seed not too long ago, and I don't know if you can see the rows going up. See them? So we're getting more lettuce, which is good because we like our salad, right, buddy? Alright, we are on to the broccoli patch. And it's doing fairly well, I think. I did a lot of transplants. Everything seems to be okay. And I don't know why this is blurry.
Some wilters.
Yeah, why is this blurry? There we go. So yeah, that's a couple of them wilting, not quite sure why, but otherwise doing pretty good. And this is our onion patch. So up here is the ones that we started from seed in the greenhouse, and we planted those. Down there we have some that we direct sowed, and they're all coming up. We are going to have to transplant. As you can see, these are a bunch that grew in one thing. So once they're a little bit bigger and less fragile, we'll transplant them. We've only got, like, this one's fine, that's one. There's a couple there. So it's not too bad. And I'll come in and weed again. I try to weed as much as I can. Because I believe it's healthier for what you're trying to grow. Now, aside from the potatoes, this patch is probably the most dear to me. Tomatoes! Tomatoes! So everybody's looks like they're doing fairly well. All the way down the line. And again, this is sort of a hodgepodge of different kinds. So there's like a regular tomato, like there's Roma, and there are grape tomatoes in here. And honestly, I couldn't tell you what's what at this point because we just kind of threw them in here quickly. Some of these are going to need to be transplanted because they're too close together. So we did leave some room in a row. We have this whole row, some of this row, and we we have space over there if we need to transplant over there as well. But for now, I'm not touching them. Leave them alone. Let them get bigger and do their thing. I'll probably look that up. I'll look up spacing. I think I probably did a foot apart at the apartment in those beds. I think it was probably a foot apart. I don't remember, but I'll definitely check that. All right, I actually don't think I showed you guys the herb garden that I have on my deck, the back deck here. I did find a bunch of these little planters. I had like 16 of them, I think. And so I said, well, let's use these. And I screwed them all to the top, put holes in them, and here we go. So look, we've got parsley coming up. Again, blurry. Sage, oregano, and it just goes on down the line. So this is purple basil. It smells really, really good. It smells like basil, actually. More green onion. That is more sage. Regular basil, which is just doing pretty good. More purple basil. More sage. Parsley. We have the onion in here. Or I don't remember if these are onions or chive. And we have a volunteer, I think that's a cabbage. So I will actually transplant that when it gets a little bit bigger. So more basil, and it goes on down the line. Down there is spinach. So everything's full. We've already been using it, and I have to say it's pretty amazing to be able to use it. So we're just starting to utilize our own garden, and it feels really good. But I'm also nervous because in the garden raised beds at the apartment, we had, you done? Come on. Did she go?
Yeah, she went.
Why do dogs insist on touching you with their wet nose? I really hate it. Like, I really hate it. It drives me insane. So what I was saying is, I'm a little nervous because I feel like it's slow going. I also feel like I've said that before. I think I said that last year in a video. I might just be, I don't know, freaking out for nothing. I'll have to check that video actually and find out when that was. And the only reason I think I'm nervous is because this is brand new soil and it's brand new area. When I did the boxes, the raised beds I should say, in the apartment, there was soil already in it, but that was soil that was put in it. I don't know how long before that. It definitely wasn't utilized before we got there. It was nothing but overgrown weeds and everything. But it was a soil that was put in there, so I'm sure it was probably amended some way. This is not. I don't know. I'm kind of like, this is all an experiment this year. So, and I like experiments, but I don't want to lose my entire garden. So, potatoes are loving the soil. And everything seems to be growing, but it's not as, I don't know, pretty, I guess, as I'm used to. Or lush right now as I'm used to. So, I don't know. I'll go back and check. I'll look some stuff up, do a little bit of investigating, and see what I can come up with. I put the grass clippings. I even put the bunny poop because they said it won't burn plants. And it's really, really good for them. It hasn't hurt them at all, so I'm hoping that it helps. Look at little man. He just built up that compost again. Wow, bud, you did that fast. Good job, babe.